Okay, I can see you guys. Oh, okay, he just called me. Whoa, we are under attack for real, guys. Oh, sweet. Okay, so
happening right now.
It's happening right now, man. You guys have the balls, man. I love you. Okay, so
Just going in.
that's awesome. Okay, so now, guys, my audience cannot see you. So I'm gonna pop a little intro, and people, we're gonna see you just right after that. Okay, so just stay there.
You will.
So called awesome people I'd like to be. So you should be appearing on the screen. Yes, everything is working perfectly, man. Sweet, this is the first. Okay, welcome everyone to the first episode, or should I call that episode of Awesome People I'd Like to Be. And our first guest today is the crew from StarrMazer. So you can see them. Okay, somebody's already following the channel. Sorry, I want to remove that because I'll be distracted if a lot of people are following the channel. Okay, so why don't you present yourself, guys? What is your company? What is your game? Go ahead.
I am Don Thacker. I am the writer and director of StarrMazer. I'm also the owner or co-owner of Imago Softworks, the maker of StarrMazer.
Sweet. Awesome.
I am Austin Montville. I am the game developer on StarrMazer and also the owner of 2DX, who is working with Imago Softworks to make
into a thing.
And I love your background, guys. Look at that. I want to be in that room, man.
This is the StarrMazer HQ. You can see us 3 times a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on StarrMazer.tv. We got a Twitch channel. You can see us here doing cool StarrMazer stuff.
Nice. So what's your Twitch channel? Is it StarrMazer TV? Can we follow that right now, or?
StarrMazer.tv, yeah. Or
okay.
Twitch.com/StarrMazer. Yeah.
StarrMazer.
RR. There are 2 R's because we put twice as many.
That's the right way to spell it.
Yeah, but twice as many R's as any other star.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna tell my audience to. Okay, people are asking me to put you guys louder, so I'm gonna put the volume a little bit louder.
We're pretty fucking loud right now.
Yell louder.
Yeah, how about whispering?
We got it. It's in there.
There's volume everywhere.
It's there.
Nice, nice. So, guys, please let me just talk about the StarrMazer. What is it actually? The only thing I know, I mean, I learned about the game like it's a point and click shoot 'em up. What the hell? Please let me talk about that.
Point and click shoot 'em up in space. It's it combines the best elements of like shooters without the shitty story, and the best elements of point and click games without the shitty action. It takes those, puts them together, so you have a really cool, awesome game. It's not just 2 things stapled together though. It's a natural evolution of 2 genres, all the best bits of 2 genres put together, baked into an awesome video game lasagna.
Sweet, man. Okay, but my biggest question right now, let's take care of the elephant in my room, is, you know, point and click and shoot 'em up are 2 different audiences. So how do you like just jump right in and that's it? I mean, will the game be playable with my mom? Let's put it that way. Can you understand my question? I mean, there's like 2 different audiences, you know?
There are angles. We have multiple angles for this particular ways
to answer.
You are not the first person to say that.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, so what's the best answer I can give you that's quick and... Dude, it's a game, man. Like, it's a video game. Is Alien a horror movie or a science fiction movie? Because horror games, they're not necessarily science fiction. It's a movie. It's an awesome movie.
Awesome,
right?
man. Awesome.
Flappy Birds, that's like a mobile game, like a dumb mobile game, right? And like Mario is an awesome platformer game. Those don't necessarily like person on the bus with they're completely opposite. Completely opposite. Those things don't match.
Gotcha.
What if I told you though, in the first water world in Mario, you jump into the water and you're playing Flappy Birds. They're just together already. It's just built in together. We're making a game. We're not making a genre. We're not making a fan service device. We're making a game. It can be nuanced and cool and large and have all kinds of different things to let you play. Skyrim's a sword simulator. Skyrim's an RPG. Skyrim's a crafting game. Skyrim, you know what I'm saying? We're not making Skyrim, but we're making some... Games don't have to be pigeonholed. Yes, there are different audiences, but I can promise you all the way through, every single shmup fan has been playing a shmup and go, shit, man, this would be really great if it had a story.
Sweet,
every single one.
Man.
Every single one of them. And every single point-and-click fan, die hard. I'm telling you, Ron Gilbert at some point was like, I love to shoot something, maybe. That'd be nice.
Gotcha.
It's not that I'm using 2 opposing audiences. We're not trying to appeal to 2 separate groups. We're appealing to gamers, man. And gamers like variants. We can do it. We found two opposing things, or seemingly opposing things, and bubbled up the best bits and put a really cool game in the middle.
I love you all already, guys. You're as intense as me, if not more intense than me. Like, yo, man, this is my answer to your question, man.
It's great to find someone on our level.
This is great. I'm having a little technical issue right now, guys. Actually, we are not loud enough. Actually, a lot of people are asking. Okay, that's much better.
You hear
okay,
us just fine?
Sweet. Yeah, I put it like as much loud I can. So people are saying that it's
Awesome. All right, people are now ready to take all of our voices. StarrMazer time.
So it should be fixed right now. Awesome. So okay, guys. So how long have you been making games, guys? This is not your first game, right? Don, I think you made a movie.
Oh yeah, that happened. I made multiple movies. Actually, let's start with this guy, because he's pure game, and then we'll get into my
I'll tell my story. So I've been making games for like 7 years now. I've made a bunch of different games, less than 20, but more than 10. I don't remember the exact number now. My most recent game being the game that we shipped on the Wii U last year, Sports Ball, which is a combination of soccer, jousting, ridiculous multiplayer game. Actually, I know that you guys are you were friends with Chain Awesome Games, people making Night Squad. Yep. Totally awesome local multiplayer game. Sports Ball is in that vein, except you have more birds and more sports theme as opposed to just medieval theme. But yeah, so if you're into that game, you will be interested in Sports Ball, which is out right now. It's on the Wii U. If you go to Wii U and you buy it right now and invite 4 of your friends, you'll have an amazing time. It'll be the best night of your life.
Cool. I'm going to have a link right now to share to the audience right now.
But yeah,
I have to play that.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of like heavy like gameplay focus. So I do programming and art and design and sometimes audio, but not as much audio. So I think I share similar traits with you, that I can do a little bit of all the things.
Okay.
Focus mostly on programming and design right now.
You wear many hats. So you said that you've been making games for the past 7 years. I believe you guys have made some Flash game as well, right? I'm not the only Flash gamer here. Did I? No. Yes. No.
The first game that 2DX released was called Bosses Forever 2. Bro. That was a sequel to Bosses Forever. Yeah, the game is self-explanatory. There's bosses, it just keeps going. So, the original game was made in Flash in ActionScript 3, yes.
Okay.
But then when I was making 2. Bro, I ported it over to Hacks. So I used Hacks to launch that so I could put it on multiple platforms. It's actually available on Mac, PC, browser, and Ouya. If you have one of those things, you can dust it off. It's free. BossesForever.com. You can play that game.
Sweet, man. Cool. Okay, cool. What else we have? What engine do you use for StarrMazer, actually?
We will talk about the engine for StarrMazer after we talk about Don's history.
How did you forget me? I'm the company. It's my game.
Sorry, well, you know, it's my first time in It's my first time in
I was a Lachhhster. I am no longer a Lachhhster. Check it out, dude. Okay,
That's
so
I'm
a storyteller. I've been trying to tell stories my entire life. I'm an ex-programmer, and I am a filmmaker. I've made films. I made a film called Motivational Growth, which is the first narrative feature film on Steam. You'll get it on Steam right now. Check it out. There's really cool. StarrMazer's actually in it. It's on television in the movie. So I made that movie. I made a feature film last year that's in post-production right now. That's in conjunction with an upcoming horror game by Frictional Games. So those will release at the same time. It's a big feature film. But for the last 5 years, I've been making games professionally. Casually, I was messing around with games previous.
Yeah.
But I was an enterprise programmer. I did like advertising and like visa compliance and databases and all that kind of dumb stuff. But I moved into game programming, and I've been providing narrative and writing and programming for games for about 5 years. I was a lead programmer at Pixel Jam for a little bit. Now we've kind of turned that over, and some Pixel Jam dudes are working on StarrMazer, so that's cool. And I've written a bunch of really cool games, some of which are out and some of which are coming out this coming year. So I am a writer-director of things. That's what I do.
Sweet, man. Okay, sweet. Now, may I speak now, or I forgot somebody else?
No, the only thing we haven't described is the cat, which is on screen. But if she comes back, we will describe it. We'll pick her up.
Okay, sweet. I'm just gonna tell my audience, if you guys watching right now have some question for those awesome people right here, awesome people I'd like to be, please send it right now in the chat, and I will read that to them. All right?
We'll answer your questions. We'll do so live, and we'll do so loudly.
Awesome. I like that. You guys are intense. I love you. Okay, well, to get back to my question where I cut you, Dan. Sorry for that, actually. What engine do you use for StarrMazer, actually? use Unity or still using Flash?
We are doing something a little different.
Yeah.
Something that most indie devs don't do. We're using Unity. It's such an obscure engine, but we really thought it could take advantage of the Unity.
We like to be edge casers.
Yeah.
Important note: we're not relying wholly on Unity. We're using Unity as our sort of centralized platform, but some of it's being written in hacks and compiled down to C# libraries, and some of it is being reconstructed from work that we've done in ActionScript and other stuff. So Unity is our central hub, and our deployment platform for sure. So Unity is our engine.
Sweet. Yeah, I do start with Flash and go with Unity myself. So yeah, I have like a bunch of little workflow, and then I end up with Unity because with a cross-platform, I believe that's a really cool solution. What else do I have in question right there? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna check question. You will send me one of that. Hang on. Somebody's asking. You will send me one of that 2 NES you have in the background?
Darkness Sparta wants the NES.
The thing is, those two, one of those is mine. Oh, one of those is mine. It's got a new 72-pin connector. It's got a S-cart and RGB out. It's got all kinds of really cool stuff. So no, you can't have that one. And the other one belongs to my girlfriend. So no, it's not yours.
Yeah,
doesn't work.
We don't want to break relationship here, right?
No way.
Sweet. Okay, I have a question. When starting a new project, where do you start, programming-wise? So, like, what do you implement first? This is from DigiPixel.io.
So I am very much a visceral game developer. Like I play it to make sure it feels right because the player, they don't see code, they see the game. That's what's important to them. So
I love
that. Right. We got that connection. So I'm always
spoken like a true ActionScript developer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just get in there and make something that I can play with first. So I put a character on the screen and I make it move because most of the games I work with have something moving. If the game doesn't have a character moving, then whatever is the very first thing that I can interact with and touch, I make that first. So. And then I just take every little tiny detail and build upon that. So like, okay, how fast does it need the character move? Does the character need to move to a point? Does the character fall? And like it's just a million tiny tasks.
You just iterate those tasks.
Until you get to the last task, which is game done.
Prototyping and iteration, right?
Yeah, but I bet you have different approaches when you go to build.
Yeah,
like
I have a completely different programming style, which is why I hired this guy, and I'm just directing him. But I come from an enterprise background, so what I do is I actually work out core functionality in theory first, and then I start doing theoretical models, and then I build unit tests, and then I implement the unit tests, and then I make sure the unit tests work, and then I start building modules that will together stacked make those pieces of core functionality. But I think we would start at the same place. It's just that I would have an entire library that made sure that movement happened a certain way, and you would just have some script that made it do jump.
Yeah.
But those are both, to be clear, perfectly valid. They have pluses and minuses. I was speaking recently with an Ouya developer whose game runs via reflection almost entirely, and the whole thing, every time you play the game, you're playing like 6 copies of the game are in memory, all throwing stuff back and forth at each other. And if I looked at that code as an enterprise developer, I would throw up. It's ridiculous. Don't ever do that. It's stupid. But here's the truth. It works and people are buying it, so that's fine. It's not like a car where if it breaks down, you're in trouble. You can patch it, you can fix it, you can make it work. And as long as it works and the person gets it and can play it, that's all that matters. So our approaches, though almost diametrically opposed, don't actually change the end product, which is, does the game work? Is it good? Will it break?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, at Berserk Studio here, I mean, we have 2 different ways to start in the program. I am like making prototype really fast and make something moving, and then fix all the little flaws. But my partner here, they are artists, so they prefer to have everything in documents and everything super solid in their head, and then they ask me to do the task. And in the end, it's the end product that matters. So it's 2 different ways to go over there. And,
no, like when we start coding, I see him. He'll just start writing actual code. When I start coding, I write the structure of the entire module first. Okay. I don't put any logic in there. I put all of the wrappers, document it, make sure everything's all set up, and then start putting in I make the Twinkie, and then I put the cream inside. You're like a cream first dude.
Maybe the cake. Do we even need the cake?
Let's just cream.
Let's get the vanilla cream.
Is that the best part? Just cream
it.
Yeah, sweet. But at the end, it's the product that matters, right? So, yeah. Sweet. Okay, somebody else here. Joseph Mungolf is asking, I'm 40 years old student. What will be some good steps to take if I want to become, if I want to become a game dev?
Wait, I'm gonna say my version, which is gonna be totally opposed to your version.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so go to eBay, buy like the shittiest like $20 like laptop.
Where's this going?
With no internet connectivity, no nothing. Get a CD-ROM drive with it. I'm talking old school, right? Burn a distribution of Linux, put it on the CD-ROM drive. Disconnect from the internet entirely. Go to a fucking park. Make sure you have a battery. Hook it up to your car or something. Install Linux. Write a program. Doesn't matter what it does. Do calculations. Do whatever. Do something that has nothing to do with game development and has everything to do with learning how computers work. Actual computers work. Because the end result... Because you're 40. I'm 35.
We're
not
14.
14. Oh, shit. Well, do the same thing. Check it out. It totally works. It doesn't change. If you're young or if you're old, you have to know the principles. If you're in the middle, you probably know the principles. Like if you're like 25 to 30 and you've been working in game dev or computer dev, you get it. But if you're young or if you're old, you're missing something. I found this every time I try to teach somebody that there's just basic stuff is missing. So 14-year-old, learn how to 14. Oh man! Oh god! Sorry.
It's okay. It's a major show, man. It's okay.
Learn how to compile and write your own distribution of Linux or encapsulate your own distribution of Linux. Make minor changes. Write it. See if you can compile it and boot another computer with it. Do something that is not goal related to game dev. The reason is if you fail, it's no big deal. You won't think to yourself, "Oh, I can't ever make games." You'll think to yourself, "Oh, I can't ever compile Linux," which. Fine, dude. I don't know. It would take me probably an hour to remember how to do that right now. But you need to know the basics to get into it. Now, I think Austin's probably going to have a totally opposite version, which is good because they're both right. So go for it.
Yeah. So yes, I will say that everything Don said is correct. That learning the fundamentals are essential, and every day I need to learn more of the fundamentals to become a better game developer. But that is not a great way to get into it. I don't think so. It's awful, it's terrible. I don't listen to anything.
This guy's a kid, man.
You have a game to make. The most simple thing, like platform jump, that you run and you jump and you will you win. When you land, it's win. Like you jump over the thing, whatever. And find a way to build that. Use Game Maker. Use ActionScript. Use Unity. I actually highly recommend Game Maker or Construct because then you don't even have to write code. You don't have to worry about code. There's a million other things you're gonna have to worry about. An art asset, a title screen, making a key do the right thing. There's a million things. So make something that is very, very the most simple thing, but build that because you're not going to know how to do anything. You're not going to know how to write the code. You're not going to know how to import the art assets. And when you have a goal in mind, I want the character to jump over there. You can then ask questions specific to that. How do I make the character jump? How do I make the sprite draw on the screen? How do I make a trigger happen when the character goes over there? Those are specific questions that you can ask other people who know how to do that, and they can give you the context of how to solve that problem. Every time you solve a problem, you'll learn a little bit about, to do a trigger, I have to do a collision, and then you'll dig into those things, and eventually you'll learn out from that. Now, there's a trap with that. Yeah. Eventually, you'll have to learn the fundamentals. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll write bad code and you won't be able to build.
Your game just won't work on anything.
It won't build.
Really bloated or terrible.
But there's so many great tools that you can get into it very quickly.
Right.
An amazing resource for it is Reddit, r/gamedev. Yeah. There's tons of amazing resources, tons of great suggestions. It's a great community where people can help you out and they can tell you where to go. So build the simplest thing with the simplest tools and ask all the questions. There are tons of people willing to help. Just ask. Yeah. Ask everyone.
Yeah. Don't do it Use the community. Don't be embarrassed. Every person who's made games successfully failed a bunch before they got there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Accept that and get through it. It's kind of like a badge of honor. Once you failed a bunch and everybody saw you fail, and then you succeed, they're like, yeah, you did it.
When I go to meetups to hang out with other indie devs, we just talk about all the ways we failed. Yeah. We're like, totally. Doing this.
Yeah. One of my best quotes.
It's very helpful.
One of my best quotes is by the co-founder of Reddit. I forgot his name, but he said, "Go forth and suck," and I really like that. I mean, go ahead, execute something, and fail. People are gonna laugh at you, but you get back on your feet, and then people will envy you. So go forth and suck. I really like that quote. So yeah, I do agree with you guys. Okay, next, what code revision tools do you use for your Unity project? Do you use any Unity asset store to help manage revisioning, or manage it outside of Unity altogether?
We use Git.
Git.
And we turn all of our meta files into text-based meta files, so we just stuff them all into the repository,
and it's fine. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sweet, perfect. Okay, Git. I do use that.
Simple
as well.
question. If you want to use Git version source control, but GitHub is a cool thing, but if you want to use it free, you have to use it open source, and maybe you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to pay. Bitbucket is a nice alternative for small teams. You can still have a private repository. It's limited in size, but depending on the scope of your game, you might be able to use that.
Yeah.
Of course, if you need a bigger thing, you're at the point where you can pay for it. But if you're getting started and you want to be familiar with version control because it's a good skill to have, Bitbucket is nice if you want to use Git.
Sweet. All right, perfect. So I'm gonna take like one last question, guys, because I don't want to take too much of your time. We both have some games to do, so
we have games to make, man.
Exactly. So, Mr. Dzmisuki, sorry, I messed up that name. Does one of you guys do the animator or character design, or was the inspiration? Who was the inspiration for the main character?
That's two questions, but we'll answer them. We'll answer both. Neither of us do the character animation or design, though I think either of us could. We probably just wouldn't do it as good as the people we've got doing it. So originally, in 2010, when I started getting this project together, we had a French animator named Jeremy Perrin, who is super famous and does lots of cool stuff. I got with him, and we built parts of the trailer, the cinematic bits of the trailer, and the style of it. That main character is not based on any one character, but he's based instead on a conglomeration. He's the logical end. I grew up in the 1980s, so I'm very used to the sort of cartoon version of the hero, right? Like the tall, blue-eyed, blonde-haired white dude with a gun. Like that's the what? You don't have a gun.
Oh my god!
The idea is that StarrMazer deals with the idea that might not actually be the what a hero looks like. But you don't know that until you play the game. The gag, though, is it's based on basically all of the tropes that make a 1980s style hero.
Gotcha.
So he's got big hair, and he's got all the cool hero stuff. And people are like, it reminds me of this, that, and this, and that. Well, of course it does, because they were all doing the same thing, pulling from the same source material. So, it's basically, if it reminds you of somebody, it's probably either inspired by that or inspired by somebody that was inspired by. So that's the thing. For our Kickstarter, we had a wonderful artist from Greece named Christina Antoinette Neofatistou do all of our Kickstarter assets. And then in the actual game design, we have Maximo Vitali Lorenzo on the East Coast here in the United States do all of our, he's our art lead, so he does all of our concept art and all of our character design. And then for pixel animation, we're currently using a gentleman named Eric Santana, and we've got a couple more people coming on for backgrounds and larger animations later in the year. So it's a big team effort, which means that it's always consistent, and it always follows our vision. It doesn't switch between artists.
Yeah, that's the really good question, actually. How big is your team? Like 8 to 9 or something? I want to do about...
9 people. It's 9 people.
Sweet, okay. And your Kickstarter is a success, right? You succeeded with your Kickstarter.
Yes, we did. We only just succeeded, but that's success. So
yeah, 5,055 amazing people, some of which are in the chat right now, hanging out with us.
We called them the Mazers. Mazers, meet the Lachhhisters. You guys have a good time.
Awesome. All right, guys. So yeah,
fight. You do the flame thing.
Yeah, fire.
Are
we on fire right now? Because I
want to be on fire right now.
Yeah, don't put that.
The Lachhhster flames.
On my next interview, you guys are gonna be on fire because you're already on fire. So I'm just gonna put a little effects above everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. That was StarrMazer, amazing crew from StarrMazer. We're gonna close that interview, and I will pop your trailer. You should have a trailer on your website, right?
Yeah, it's on StarrMazer.com, StarrMazer.com. We're at Twitter.com/StarrMazer, Facebook.com/StarrMazer, all the stuff.
Yeah, if you want to hang out with us, just shout at us. We'll meet a thing. Like, that goes with you too, Lachhhster. If we're in a game development event, we should talk and hang out and tell war stories about failure. It'll be great.
Go forth and suck.
There's so many stories to say. Go forth and suck, yeah. All right, so I'm going to close the interview. I'm going to pop the trailer. So thank you very much, guys. Have an amazing day. It was awesome. So, yeah, say hi to StarrMazer, guys. Thank you very much.
Good. Take care. Bye.